All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is what is concavity? Now there's a couple ways to look at this, but first of all, we're going to look at it as our value of f double prime of x. Now breaking this down a little bit further, f of x tells us the height of our graph. It tells us our y value. How high up and down are we on that y-axis? F prime of x tells us our slope. Now our slope is our rate of change in y. How fast is y going up or down relative to my x changing at this constant value? Our third one, f double prime of x, is our concavity. And in particular, it's our rate of change in slope. How fast is my slope increasing or decreasing? So if I have, let's say, this type of graph here. So if you note right here, my slope looks something like that. That's a reasonably steep slope. That's a slope of about 1. If you go here, I have a much more shallow slope here. I've got a rise of 1 to a run of about 3. Here, I've got a negative slope now. And it's probably a negative slope of around -1, maybe a little bit off of that. But notice how I went from a slope of 1 to, let's say, 1/5 to, let's say, -1. My slope is decreasing, and it's going to be constantly decreasing as I move to the right. So I would refer to this as concave down because my slope is decreasing as I move to the right. Much like if my slope, much like if I had a line like this, my y is decreasing as my x moves to the right. So this is our idea of concavity. And so that's the other part of it is I like to think of it as concave up is seeking straight up. So if I'm heading down, I'm pulling out of that nosedive. And if I'm heading up, I'm trying to get to straight up. And depending on where I am, anywhere on this is going to be concave up. And concave down is the opposite. It's seeking straight down. Now again, another way of thinking this, concave up is my slope is increasing as I go right. And with concave down, my slope is decreasing, and decreasing could include becoming a larger negative number as I go right. So this is our idea of concavity. Now we use this in several ways, which I'm going to get to in future videos.